So last week we talked to some of the Amish gentlemen in the area. We live really close to Amish and Mennonite community, and some of them do construction. We were talking to them about getting a building put on the property that would be a proper shop. And what we're talking about is 24 feet by 40 feet wide, 24 foot wide by 40 foot long, pole barn style metal shop with a cement floor. So right now what I have to do by next year is turn this what used to be a parking spot into a road, and then clear out an area big enough for the building and big enough for them to be able to work on the building. So we're figuring it's probably going to be about 40 feet wide by about 60 feet long. It needs to be cleared and as level as we can get it. And these are the tools that I'm going to be using. I'll show you guys what I got. So right now I've got a couple different chainsaws. The Stihl I use, I had some issues with it when I first got it, but they have been a really good company, and the retailer that I bought it from, Ace Hardware, has been really good about getting those issues resolved, and now it's a pretty solid running machine. The other two chainsaws that I have, the little one on the left is a Homelite, and believe it or not, this little chainsaw right here is kind of like the little engine that could. The thing just, it starts, it runs, it's super old. My dad's had it for a long time, and it does the trick. It's much smaller, it's kind of easier when you're crawling over stuff, it's a little bit safer. The other one is the Craftsman. I recently traded my Volkswagen. I've owned that car for about 15 years. Now she's off to greener pastures. For a little pop-up camper for my dad. And this Craftsman chainsaw kind of came with the deal, as well as a generator. I also have this chipper that we've been using. Had the Amish work on it about a month ago. Had some issues with the carburetor. We couldn't get it resolved, and of course they had it for a couple days and they got it working. It's got a Briggs & Stratton motor, which are really common. Apparently they're really easy to work on. But yeah, now this guy's running nice and solid. And then the newest contributions have been the axes. I've had the hatchet for a while, Gransfors Bruks Wildlife Hatchet. I've had this for a little while. You can see there's been a little bit worn. I do try to take care of it as well as I can. The blade and everything is really good condition. I also got a Bahco Laplander saw for cutting off limbs and stuff like that. The new additions though are the Gransfors Bruks forest axe. This is going to be really good for cutting off limbs that are a little bit too big for the wildlife hatchet. Get them much easier to get through them than using the Laplander saw. And the other one is the Gransfors Bruks American felling axe. And I've never actually had a full-size axe before, so I'm really excited about this. I've got to thank my dad for buying it for me. But I know I have the chainsaws, and I'll be using those primarily to drop trees. But I do want to do a little bit of a series where I dropped a tree using just an axe, and then I use traditional tools. I'll be getting the Alaskan chainsaw mill eventually, and a much higher powered chainsaw than the Stihl, so I can start milling wood and doing projects like that, which is another reason why we want the shop. The building is really going to help in giving us some space and some a controlled area where we can really work on, you know, building projects. So what we're looking at right now, this is the driveway, and then this, we were using this as another parking spot. We were planning on building a little carport over here, but now with the possibility of getting this building next year, this is where we're going to be making a road straight through here, leveling this out, taking out some of these trees, and then clearing that area back there to put the building. So the building's going to go back in here. We have to clear out an area that's probably going to be about 40 feet wide by 60 feet long. That way the building has clearance all the way around it, and they have the gentlemen that are going to be building it for us are going to have areas to actually work on the building. You can see the challenge that we have. We have to take all this brush and a bunch of these trees down. The trees that we're taking down, we're going to be doing it responsibly, where we're going to be actually using every part of everything that we remove. We're going to be using it for firewood, for building projects. We're going to be setting the larger trees aside and letting them dry, and eventually I'll have a Alaskan chainsaw mill, and I'll be milling a lot of that wood and using it for future projects. It's always a frustrating thing when you throw your chain, but in all honesty, it's probably because I didn't check the tightness of it before I started using it. Just dangerous, and it's irresponsible. One thing I need to really invest in is a belt to hold tools that I need, so I'm not always walking back to the site to pick things up. Let's see them pearly whites. So just our luck, right after we get started, it starts to pour. Found a turtle laying eggs in our backyard.